everybody, welcome to Band Advice TV. I am your co-host, Mark Allen V, and this is
Matt Mason. How y'all doing, Earth Rockers?
Earth Rockers. Nice. I love that phrase. How'd you ever come up with that phrase, man?
Well, I love the Earth.
Good. Kind of need it.
And I love rock and roll.
Kind of need that, too.
And I think that people that like both of those are pretty cool.
You can't get more poetic than that. You really can't.
No.
That's awesome. That is
and
awesome.
then like, my Instagram handle's like Earth, Soul, Rock and Roll.
Right.
It's like, what else is there?
Right.
Earth, Soul, and Rock and Roll.
It's like the whole new Trinity.
Yeah, just it's like everything in a nutshell.
Absolutely. That's great. That's great. I got to come up with something cool like that. I know some of these artists out there. Well, like Lady Gaga's got her little monsters. That's her her crew, and the Deadheads, their crew. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What would you call my crew? What kind of ideas you got for that? Tread carefully.
Let's see. What could we call the Mark fan?
Say
Markies.
What? Really?
The Markies.
Well, yeah, I get a lot of people say, "Well, we're your funky bunch," but unfortunately, I can't really capitalize on that because I think it might be copyrighted.
I don't know if it is or not.
I'm sure Mr. Wahlberg would probably have something to say.
So
about
do it and have him come after you. What's he gonna do?
Well, I mean, I'm willing to pay him to let him take a little chunk of the profits of it because I'm sure that a chunk of profits off of using that name would still be nice for me. So
yeah, sure. Sure.
I'll tell you what, we'll leave it up to you fans, okay?
What should Mark call his groupies?
What should my groupies, my followers, yes, my crew.
His cornermen.
Cornermen? What is that?
Like if you're a prize fighter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Cut me, Mick, cut me.
You didn't quite get a little cover. But anyway, yeah. Okay, you guys, tell you what, you do that, and I will, whichever one I choose, there'll be something beneficial for you. So
send you a fruitcake.
It is Christmas time, which reminds me, go check out Mad Dog Mark and the Blues House Christmas Time Blues.
I love that song.
It's awesome.
It's so good.
The thing is like I got to get some other Mad Dog Mark songs out there because everyone's like, "Oh, I love this song," and it's like,
is there any more out there?
No, I got to come up with something.
What happened to that demo they did in 1933? Whatever happened to that? Did they lose all that?
I guess so. I guess it's all gone.
It's all gone to history.
Huh? Yeah.
I heard about people that were there. Hubcap Hambum said it was really good.
Hubcap Hambum? That's true. That's true. Man, that guy could play a hubcap.
Boy, he could.
Just slap it down.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what's happening, y'all?
What's happening, man?
The Black Crowes have announced they're coming back for a tour.
Really?
In 2020.
Wow. When was the last time they toured?
The last time they toured, I believe, was 2013.
Oh, wow. That's like 9 years ago.
No, I didn't go see them on that show. When they came through, they played at the Hard Rock, and I think it had sold out or something. And so I was like, I've seen them probably starting at the first tour, Shake Your Money Maker. I saw that at Cain's in 1990, I think it was, like December 1990. The album came out sometime
Hard
earlier.
to handle. Yeah.
So like I think the first single was Hard to Handle. Camo D started playing that. Yep. Camo D started playing that, and then here it comes. Hey, they're playing at Cain's Ballroom. Four Horsemen opened up.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was rocking.
Nice.
And so
Cain's.
It was so crazy because the Four Horsemen were this band from Los Angeles, and this guitar player of the Four Horsemen, his name was Haggis.
Haggis?
Yeah. So he had this custom.
Isn't that dish where they stuck stuff into the sheep stomach or
something like that. I don't know exactly, but
get me a haggis.
But so anyway, he had this custom made telly, and it was all wood burned on the front and stuff. And so I saw him play it that night. Then fast forward all these years later, Charlie Starr from Blackberry Smoke ended up with that guitar.
Oh wow!
So I see Blackberry Smoke like 2 years ago at Cain's. He's playing that guitar.
Nice.
I'm like, man, this is so crazy. I haven't seen this guitar in like 27 years in this place, So it was awesome. But anyway, so the Crowes, that was the first tour. I saw that. Then I saw Southern Harmony, the High as the Moon tour. I saw that at the Brady later. And then Amorica, I saw that in Kansas City. And I'm thinking I saw it in Tulsa too. I've seen about 15 shows over the years, and I've seen the solo bands, Chris Robinson, Mark Ford, Rich Robinson. I met a few of them, and just like one of the greatest bands in my mind
Sure.
of our time that were doing it during
Right.
our time. And I loved it because they went against the grain.
Oh, absolutely.
When Hard to Handle came out, that was not what everything else sounded
No, I mean
like.
that's old Wilson Pickett and White Boy singing Wilson Pickett stuff.
And they were,
and
they were
and
from,
they brought it.
Yeah, they were from
brought it.
Atlanta, and it was just like, I loved the band just immediately. And I just felt like, oh man, anything they did, I was always interested. I I collected the music, I listened to the shows, I went to the shows, I bought the shit. And I mean, for whatever reason, they had a lot of conflict, man. They did. The brothers, it's kind of sad to see it happen.
You get that a lot. You get that. I think Oasis they had that problem too. With the
when they went on that tour, it's called the Brotherly Love Tour.
Yeah.
Oasis and the Black Crowes together,
right?
And supposedly they were all well behaved. I'm like,
yeah, just like when Diamond Dave and Sammy Hagar
right,
well behaved. I'm sure.
Right.
So what was their second album?
The second album was Southern Harmony Musical Companion.
I heard that they recorded that thing in 7 days.
Yeah.
The entire thing. That blows my. Well, I mean, that's the power of a tight band where you can actually all go into the studio. You can all just you go through a couple takes each song and you pick the best one.
Yeah, man.
Not like where you have to. We'll bring the guitar player in today and we'll work on his solo, and then it's.
Yeah, it was a real earthly, organic kind of way of making albums
man,
that just wasn't happening then. And
right.
I really loved it, just the gear and the look and some of the attitude is cool. But after a while, I was like, sizzle, simmer down, it's all right. But so anyway, they had fights all the whole time. There was all these arguments. Well, their drummer, Steve Gorman, has written a tell-all book.
Oh,
and I mean, it is. I haven't read it yet. I've read excerpts from it, and I've talked to like half a dozen people that have read it. And they're just like, Matt, you got to read this. Well, just on the excerpts, I'm like, holy cow. What a ride, man. What a ride.
Do you think he's going to get invited to the reunion
absolutely.
show?
He says he's not going to accept, even if they did ask him to play. He's like, I'm not going back into that.
Yeah. Like,
and Johnny Colt, he plays bass with Skinner now, the bass player, Johnny Colt. They've had so many different people in that band over the years. Really it comes down to the two brothers,
right,
Rich and Chris.
Sure.
And I mean, yes, it sucks what has happened. It sucks that people have fallen off. It sucks that it just, but the Black Crowes is Chris and Rich.
Right.
And whatever period you're talking about, whoever was in the band at the time, which they added all their own little thing to it, which was cool. And so
I think that might not be a bad thing because then it kind of helps the band evolve a little bit.
Right.
To a point. I mean, Richie Kotzen and Poison, I don't know if that really helped them out at all. But
no, it's like only their best album that probably is their least selling album.
Right, exactly. So it's, the David Lee Roth, the Hagar thing, that worked out well, but times are changing too. But anyway, I digress.
So anyways, it was a tumultuous 20-some years of being a fan of theirs, because you never knew what you're going to get. I saw them in a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different places, and I always enjoyed it, and I was always like, hey, I don't care what they play. I just want to hear their music. I just like their music. And, sometimes they'd be heavy on the jams. They'd be heavy on stuff maybe that every fan that they got from the first record probably didn't really know. And I heard a few times it was like, well, they didn't even play She Talks to Angels. I'm like, well, I mean, they got other things they're doing. Just observe this for what it is, not try to run the show, steer the ship,
I see that a lot. And I'm torn. You go to a concert, you want to hear the songs you love, but at the same point in time, it's like they want to play new stuff, and they may not be in the Talks to Angel phase in their lives.
Right.
So you want to play stuff that's relevant. So Bruce Springsteen, the same thing. It's a lot of people are complaining, he didn't play any of the stuff we know. Well, he did Dancing in the Dark, You're Welcome, and a couple of others, but a lot of this is old school stuff, and if you're a true fan, you get it. If you're a fan of this other stuff, you may not, but just give it a chance.
Yeah. And so both the brothers, they split off and they've done their own bands, Rich and Chris both. And there's been a lot of controversy. There's been a lot of griping back and forth. There's been this tell-all book, and I'm just like stoked up to see what's going to happen next.
Nice.
It's like a little soap opera,
Right.
And I love the music. No matter what they play, I will love to see it, but I'm not going to pay $300 to do it. I'm just not going to.
Unfortunately, you're going to have to, though, I think.
I just don't believe in that. I think that, they need to go out there, and supposedly what they're saying is they're going to go out and do Shake Your Moneymaker in its entirety, plus the hits, which I had to laugh at. It's like on the Hurricane Mason YouTube channel, it says something like, all your dance party hits or something.
Nice.
PARDEE.
Nice.
Because
nice,
it's just
nice.
like,
sure.
It flies in the face of just your typical person who just like play something I can party to.
Right.
This is like not like that kind of thing. And so I got a lot of my shit from them, just
cool.
the funny tongue-in-cheek stuff. And so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with them, and everybody's like, oh, it's a money grab. And I'm like, hey, listen, when you walk out the door every day and go to your job, what do you call that? Are you doing that out of the goodness of your heart? Hell no, it's a money grab too. And these guys, this is what they've done their whole lives.
That's their livelihood. That's how they make their money. And if you can't make money doing that, then you're not going to be able to make the music because there's only so many hours in the day.
Right, and they've realized what they had built back then. I think they've both realized that what they built back then as the Black Crowes is bigger than anything that either one of them could do on their own.
Oh, true.
Albeit the Magpie Salute was a fantastic band. I saw them live. I saw Chris's band live. A couple of his bands live. New Earth Mud opened for the Mule once, and then I saw CRB at Cane's a few times, and it's just like, man, just let it be, let it breathe, let happen what's going to happen. Stand back and watch this explosion happen.
Right.
Because I mean, man, we're just like, I felt like back then they kind of gave like a candle to the hope of real rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
There was not much real rock and roll in the mainstream back then.
Right.
And so I felt like they really, helped.
Well, 1990. I mean, you're right on the cusp of you're finishing up with your glam rock, Sunset Strip stuff, and you Nirvana's knocking on the door, and they were that bit of rock and roll that's right there. That was, I think, honestly, that kind of band. What they did is kind of kept rock and roll alive through that tumultuous. We're ditching hair bands and we're going to mopey Seattle sound. And I think if it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't have had that whole post alternative movement.
Well, this is like
Jen Blossoms and all those guys managed to ride out.
This is like the people that, hey, we love the Rolling Stones. Hey, we love the Allman Brothers. Hey, we love the Faces and Humble Pie.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't much like that.
No.
In the grand eye of the public back then. All of a sudden, these guys come roaring out of Atlanta, and it's like, wow, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just embraced it immediately. I was like, man, I love the gear. I love the songs. I love the just unpredictability of it. That was half the fun for me, And so I'm really excited to see what happens because I think it's going to be good, and there won't be any shortage of fireworks. I guarantee you, no matter what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I'm looking forward to watching that too, and I trust that you will give us regular updates on the progress of the band as you're researching this and talking to the guys.
It's really neat because it's like all across the country they've been throwing up the Heckle and Jekyll Crow logo on billboards. And so like I was
might as well play up to it, right?
Yeah, I was listening to Eddie Trunk the other day, and some caller from Tulsa called in and said, "Hey, I seen one of these, on Highway 75, and I seen one over on I-44." I'm like,
well, it's brilliant. I mean, it's smart. I remember when Red Dog beer came out.
Yeah.
That was Miller's first foray into the microbrew thing as it was blowing up. And they just had all those billboards with just this Red Dog in the middle of it, nothing else, just this huge white billboard in that right in the middle, and people are like, what is it? What is that? Well, brilliant marketing, it worked.
Yeah.
Same deal, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so I think the rumor is they've signed a 2-year contract with like Live Nation or one of those big promoters, So I'm kind of worried because I'm like, man, I seen these guys the first time for $10, in front and with like 300 people there.
Yeah, you and I talked about that a lot, though. It's like nobody makes money off of selling music, so they got to make it off playing music.
Man.
But yeah, I remember when the Eagles reunited back in the 90s, and they were talking $125 a ticket. I'm like, oh,
that was the first $100 ticket I'd ever heard of.
And now 125 is kind of norm.
Yeah,
it really is norm. In fact,
I read where they're getting $750 in Dallas for their Hotel California tour. Now, if anything's a money grab, that is a money grab. That's a shameless corporate money grab. Those guys are not badass rock and rollers anymore. They're part of a machine.
Right.
They're part of a corporate machine.
Don't get me wrong. I love Vince Gill, and I think he's going to do great in there. But Glenn Frey, I mean, come on, that was his band.
Yeah, but there'll be, you know, a certain percentage of the audience that'll go, no Glenn Fry, no Eagles. And I'm just like the same amount of people that are going, no Steve Gorman, no Black Crowes, no Mark Ford, no Black Crowes. I'm just like, I just don't understand, like, the rationale behind that, you know? There's some bands like, okay, ZZ Top, same three guys for nearly 50 years.
Right.
Okay, I went and saw Deep Purple last month. Okay, man, they've had so many lineups and so many hits and so many periods of that band. It's amazing. But when they go out there in an hour and a half, they cover their career with the big songs.
Sure.
The big songs. And, you know, the Crows, they never did what everybody expected them to do all the time.
Right.
You know? And so I loved that. I loved it. You know, when they got thrown off the Miller Lite tour, they were opening for ZZ Top, and Chris goes off, and the next thing you know, they threw him off the tour, and I'm just like, yeah, man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know, so.
And they're not even doing stuff like the Ozzy and all those guys, or even GNR inciting riots and things.
Oh, yeah.
They're just doing.
Well, Chris is just Chris. I mean, you know, you got to figure, if you have the personality to be a lead singer in a band like that, you're probably not dealing with a Boy Scout.
No. You and I are both Boy Scouts, so we know.
I do.
We know what it's like to fall.
He'd never cut it in the Boy Scouts, that's for sure. Yeah. But I'm excited about it, and you know, I'm not really excited about the possibility of what it might cost to see a show like that.
Yeah.
Well, but you know.
So, but would you see it? Would you go ahead and pony up the cash if you had it to do it?
I'd say they got to be in one of my top 5 bands of all time.
Great. So you would consider, but that's the way. That's what Live Nation's banking on.
Yeah.
You know, it's all these big, huge reunion tours. I know Kiss is announcing their.
They're still pounding the ground.
Their 17th final tour.
They're still pounding the ground.
Remember when they put the makeup back on?
Yeah.
Back in the 90s? And said, oh, it's our last tour. We're getting back together to do this one thing. And I saw a meme the other day. Actually, it was today.
I saw that. It was in 96, 06, 90, 2000.
Right, because it did.
This is like years and years and years, you know? And I'm like, man, sometimes it's like it's best to go before people want you to go.
Right. Well, the thing is, Kiss played at they were doing the casino thing. So it's now gone down to the casino deal. And then they come back up to the arena and then go back down to the casino level. It's like, but I saw a meme the other day. It's like, okay, at what point in time will all these last tours from these classic bands finally end?
Yeah, right.
Which, I mean, because that's the thing. And the other model that's going around now, too, is we're going to play such and such an iconic album in its entirety, which I think is cool. If you really love an album, that's great. And then you bookend it with some songs from the others. You know, Vi did that with Passion and Warfare. Loved it. And, yeah, I guess, Rush did it, too, and several others. So that's kind of cool. But, yeah, the Eagles, I
just feel like, you know, as successful as all those catalog artists are, you know, it's got to be really tough to be them because most of the people, they don't really know anything other than the hits. And so when they go back out there, they have to sort of play the hits or people are going to feel like they didn't get their big time money's worth, you know? And it's like, it must be really hard to kind of juggle that with the desire and making the new music, you know? And very few of them make you engage with the new songs. They're just like, oh, by the way, here's a new song off of our new album that's only available at Walmart. Well, right there, I'm out.
Right.
If I can only buy it one place, especially there, I'm goodbye. See you later.
Right.
I'm sure it's great, but I'm out.
But that was one of those big corporate deals because they saw the writing on the wall that things were starting to disintegrate. The Tower Records is gone, and all that stuff. So it's like Walmart's going to jump on board. They're going to put in the promotional money. They're going to have all these commercials out there that they weren't going to get through their normal thing. Please silence your phone during podcasts. That they weren't going to get through the MTV push and all that kind of stuff. It was extra money at somebody else's.
Well, now Walmart's in the record business.
You try to get in Walmart. What they want? 90,000 units? Wasn't it crazy?
Just dumb, dude. It's just
Holy cow.
So I don't know. I mean,
I'm honestly kind of glad that part of our business is gone and that we can actually get our music out there, even though you got to weed through all the crap.
Yeah.
We can publish our music professionally without having to rely on that. So
I mean, but these guys, you know, I think this is the Black Crowes. That they were popular in those older days when it was like people bought records, went to shows, they listened.
Right, they would buy an entire record for one or two songs.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's like if they got into the rest of it, even better. But I was one of those ones that did get into the rest of it. And
well, you became the super fan.
Yeah, I'm a super fan for sure. I don't like all the things that I've read about what's happened to them and the things that they did and things they said. I mean, but man,
how much of that though? I mean, bad publicity, still publicity. So you have to wonder how much of that was actually.
It's all rumors.
Rumors.
You know, it's like the women got their soap operas and whatever. We got this.
Right.
You know,
right,
it's like that's kind of how it goes. It seems like.
Yeah.
So whatever. I just wish the best for them.
Yeah,
Whatever happens,
cool.
happens. I'd love to see what they come out with and how they sound and how they work together again. You know, it's going to be cool.
So you are being the super fan. I see that you have a tad bit of a memorabilia there.
Yeah, this is something that is really special to me. It was given to me.
We apologize for all of our listeners. This is an outstanding opportunity to go click over to our YouTube channel, bandadvice.tv, and but
so what this is it's a promotional piece from the Southern Harmony and the Musical Companion. And so it's, you know, this kind of old time paper, and it's kind of written like as if it's like a hymnal book.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so what it's got in the back kind of is like each few of the songs off of Southern Harmony written kind of in hymnal style.
Nice.
You know, so it starts off with Sting Me, the first one on the album, and then it goes through a few Remedy and, you know, a whole bunch back here in this sort of style like you'd see it in a hymnal. Okay, and then in the front, there's like a foreword that's written by Terry Southern. He wrote Easy Rider, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And so it's kind of an interesting little promo piece that was sent out to distributors, good customers, good booking agents, people that, you know, were close to the Crows and it helped them somehow. And, you know, of course, Chris says his piece in here, and there's, you know, kind of like some history behind the album and how they did it. It's fascinating stuff. And you just don't see it around very much. I've seen these on eBay, you know, over the years. And when I went to a Mark Ford solo show, I handed this to him and said, hey, would you sign this for me? So he signed it in here. So it's signed by Mark Ford.
Nice.
That was his first album that he did with the Crows. Excuse me. And so I just think this is really, it's special to me because my friend that ran the record store that I used to go to in Stillwater all the time, who is now deceased, he gave me that one day. Just gave it to me. I was like, hey, what is that Black Crows book back there? And he's like, hey, you know, it's a little promo piece I got from one of our distributors. And I'm like, wow, man, what do you want for this? And he, oh, just take it. You bought so many records in here. We just take it.
Yeah, that brotherhood there, that's the cool stuff.
Man, and, you know, I just like, man, stuff like that really makes it cool, you know. I've had some of the coolest friends in my life, and he was one of them.
Yeah, he was.
And you're one of them, too, dude.
Oh, thank you. And you're one of mine, too.
Yeah, right.
27 years, we're still doing this.
We're still talking to
27 years ago, like this week, we're wrapping up like our third concert at Sweet Ideas. We had 2 or 3 more before finals week, and then I was crossing my fingers that I wasn't going to get kicked out, and so we can come back for one more semester of rock and roll music, which we did.
Yeah,
we did. It was awesome. So 27 years.
That's funny.
Wow, we both had long hair.
Yeah, both had hair. It wasn't on our back, maybe.
Or my ears, on my nose. Oh, and these lights got new studio lights. You got to trim before that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, man, I'm excited to hear about it. Please keep all of us updated on this stuff, and yeah. You know, if the ticket price is right, man, I might have to go. We might have to go have a little guys' night out.
Yeah, I've seen where they announced a couple of the dates already, you know, in July, but they're supposed to be having like a surprise show in Los Angeles and New York this week.
Oh, wow.
That's the word on the street.
Great.
So we'll see what happens, but
awesome.
I'm pretty stoked up about it.
Yeah, well, it's always great that the people that influenced you and that you draw your styles and your love for music from. When exciting things happen with them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Magpie Salute. I love Chris's solo band. But was it the Crows? No.
Right, exactly.
And I think they realized that too, probably, you know? And
there's a certain magic that happens, you know, and you really, honestly, you can't duplicate it. Because if you could, everybody would.
Buy a Joe Perry solo album and tell me that's like
right.
10% of what Aerosmith is.
Or Aerosmith without Joe Perry and what a disaster that was.
Exactly. And so it's chemistry between the people.
Guys, you know, even the people we're talking with the We Are Tulsa music, it's like they recognize that you and I had this chemistry as well.
Mm-hmm.
As good or bad as that may be.
Better living
after 27 years of
better living through chemistry.
I can go into this whole toxic twin things, but you know,
right on.
You know, I'm afraid my kids might watch this. Anyway, but
I'm afraid somebody might watch this.
Oh, true. Please watch it. Please. This is my kids' college fund. I'm just kidding. Hey, you know what? It's got to be about fun. And if you're not having fun, why do it, right? And that's the whole thing about music.
With it. If it ain't fun, to hell with it.
If it ain't music, I mean, if you're not having fun doing music, if you're not having fun doing podcasts, you're not having fun doing this, then you're just working a job. And, you know, we all want to have a job that we love. So that's what we're trying to do here. So awesome. Well, bro, I'm a little thirsty. You a little thirsty?
I am a little thirsty.
What do we got here?
This here is a local whiskey called Oil Fire.
Oil Fire. Nice.
Good stuff. It's kind of a cinnamony.
Yeah.
You know,
liking that.
Not butterscotch, but, you know, sort of vanilla-ish, cinnamony. You know, not like, what's the one that's like the Fireball. It's not like that. It's a little more mellow drink than that. But I mean, there's some vanilla or butterscotch or something in there that kind of offsets it. Yeah. I feel like it's Food Network. Prost. All right, thanks, guys. Band Advice TV. Check us out. Friend us, like us. Send us your suggestions. You know, we want to hear from you.
We do want to hear from you. We're always interested. I think one of these days we need to kind of open it up to get some Q&A going, maybe a little live Q&A and start answering some questions. We have to get about 3 or 4 more followers than the 3 or 4 that we have, but we're working on it.
Well, I think, you know, my mom can do 3 or 4 different voices. So
nice. She could type out 3 or 4 different voices.
We could have her call up.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Do like a live call-in show. Yeah. Hey, y'all be good out there. Be safe.
Be safe. Peace.